If you want to learn how to play Dead by Daylight, you are on the exact right channel, because let's be real, when you're a complete beginner, this game can feel completely confusing and overwhelming. If you're new around here, my channel is all about breaking down high tier game sense, giving you optimized builds and delivering the higher level strategies you need to gain total control of your matches. And after sinking a ton of hours into DBD, I know exactly what it takes to completely dominate in your matches. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to go from an absolute beginner to pulling off the flashy flex plays that break a killer's mental. At its core, your job as a survivor is simple. Repair 5 generators, unhook your teammates safely, heal up when you can safely, and buy as much time as possible when the killer decides he or she is chasing you. In this video, I'm telling you everything I know, everything I've studied, and everything I've learned over my massive amount of time in this game. I am handing you a fucking goldmine, so pay attention, let's get into it. Before you even step into a lobby, you need the right setup. Don't waste your blood points randomly. Level up these survivors first to get the essential perks. So Dwight Fairfield. You need Bond. This is a non-negotiable when starting out. Then Kate Denton's perk. Get Windows of Opportunity. It literally highlights every single pallet and window on the map in yellow through the walls. It's an absolute cheat code for learning map layouts and learning how to loop. This is where the magic happens. With Feng Min, get Technician. If you're constantly blowing up generators because you miss skill checks, it muffles the sound so the killer doesn't get a loud notification. Feng also has another perk that will give you speed boost, which is life. Meg Thomas also has a perk that gives a speed boost, which is called Sprint Burst. However, for beginners, I recommend using life just until you get the hang of it and looping. Earlier, I mentioned Bond specifically because of sandbagging. If you don't know what that is, it's when you accidentally lead the killer straight into your teammate or teammates, block their path, or vault a window right in front of them, effectively handing the killer down. With Bond, you can see your teammates' auras. Use that info to lead the killer away from your teammates, not into them. Before you can effectively run the killer, you also need to understand the map layout. When teammates call things out, they're usually talking about 3 main zones. Shack, the small building with 1 window. The next zone is basement, and you never, ever want to get caught down here. And main building, which is usually right in the middle of the map. When it comes to unhooking your teammates, listen to me very carefully. Don't unhook someone when the killer is right at the damn hook. If you just blindly sprint to the hook and rip your teammate off whilst the killer is literally right there, you are throwing the entire match. What do you think is going to happen? Most of the time, the killer will turn right around, tunnel the person who just got unhooked, and knock them straight back down. Or worse, they'll down them, leave them on the ground, go for the slugs, and completely ruin the match for the entire team. Unless you are running a specific build to take a hit or have a clear plan, and let's be real, even using a build is a massive gamble because smart killers will just wait out your endurance. Wait for the killer to actually leave the area, hide nearby, let them walk away to check a generator, and then get the safe unhook. When you're in a loop, don't just panic sand the pallet the second you hear a heartbeat or see the killer like this. That wastes resources. Try to greed the loop. Usually running around a tile 2 to 3 times is the absolute sweet spot. But look at this gameplay right here, the RPD police desk. This Demogorgon isn't just mindlessly committing to the chase, he's constantly switching directions, going clockwise, then forcing it anti-clockwise in an attempt to cut me off. he's actively trying to mind game the loop. And by the third loop that I mentioned earlier, the killer usually builds up Bloodlust, meaning they artificially get faster the longer a chase goes on. That is your cue to drop the pallet, and if you time it right, you will get a stun, which will give you some crucial distance to break line of sight and move to the next tile. And listen, if you just take one thing from this video, make it this: look behind you. If you aren't using your camera to constantly track the killer during a chase, you're just free prey. It screams that you're new and you are running blind. If you don't look back, you won't see them trying to mind game you, and you will get caught every single time. So keep your eyes on the killer, not just the road ahead. Now, if you want to be the ultimate teammate and completely shatter the killer's confidence, you need to learn how to pull off saves when a teammate is picked up. There are three main ways to do this: flashlights, flashbangs, and pallets. But timing is everything. If you go too early, you get nothing. If you go too late, the killer can just walk away. First, flashlight saves. When the killer picks up your teammate, they are locked in an animation that lasts roughly 3 seconds. You want to aim your beam directly at the killer's face. The secret is the timing. You want the blind to fully pop right as the killer completes the pickup animation like this, and regains control of their character. Start aiming your flashlight right when the killer hoists the survivor onto their shoulder, like this. Second, flashbang saves. If you're using Leon's perk Flashbang, you'll craft a blind grenade in the locker after working on a generator. Dropping a flashbang for a save does take a bit more practice because there's a 2-second delay before it explodes. You'll want to drop the flashbang right at the killer's feet as soon as they pick the survivor up like this, because it'll detonate just as the animation ends, forcing an instant drop. But if you realize you aren't going to make it in time, or you just don't have a clean angle for the pickup save, switch to plan B like I do here. You can actually manipulate the killer's pathing, anticipate where they're going to walk, drop the flashbang near the hook or along their route 2 seconds ahead of time and bait them into looking right at it as they approach. Third, pallet saves. This is the easiest save, but your teammate must be downed directly under a standing pallet. Crouch and hide nearby, then wait for the pickup. Don't panic drop it early, otherwise he's not going to drop the survivor. Wait until the pickup animation completely finishes and the killer can move. The exact millisecond they can walk, slam the pallet right down on their face, and they'll instantly drop your teammate. Sabotage saves. If you don't have a flashlight or a flashbang, you can still pull off the ultimate save using a toolbox. When a teammate is about to go down, get into position early like I did right here and hover nearby. And here's how you take it to the next level like I do. Sneak right up to the hook. Wait until the killer is walking toward it, then start the sabotage. If you time it perfectly, the hook shatters right as they arrive, completely wasting their time and forcing them into a desperate spot. And if you do it right, by the time they scramble to find another hook, your teammate will wiggle free. Or, like this killer kept doing, will panic drop them, buying your team massive time. Now let's talk about lockers, because a lot of new players use it wrong. Do not just sit in a locker all game doing nothing. That is a fast track to throwing the match and just being a terrible teammate, and I promise you it will piss your team off. They will notice. However, lockers are your absolute best friend when it comes to countering the killer's aura rooting perks. If you notice the killer knows exactly where you are the second they hook someone, they are almost definitely running barbecue and chili, a perk from the cannibal who is Bubba. This perk reveals your aura to the killer for a few seconds. If you're far away from the hook, Another dangerous one is Chucky's perk, Friends Till the End. And with his perk, if you're the obsession and the killer hooks someone else, you become exposed, meaning they can just down you in one hit regardless if you're healthy or not, and your aura and location is revealed to the killer. To show you just how dangerous this is, look at the killer's point of view. The second the hook happened, every single survivor's aura lit up for me. I know exactly where they all are. Now look at the Sable. She gets tracked down and insta-down in one hit because of my perk, Friends Till the End. Whereas if she just hopped in a locker for 10 seconds, she would have been completely fine and I wouldn't have known where she was. So here's my pro advice. Pay attention to when a teammate is about to get hooked right before they go up. Hop into a locker. Don't fast enter a locker because the killer will get notified where you are. They also get notified if you fast vault a window and a pallet. Anyways, lockers completely blind the killer's aura reading. You want to stay in there for about 10 to 15 seconds or keep an eye on the right hand of your screen until the exposed status effect wears off, which will look like a skull. If it's Friends Till the End, once it's clear, hop out and get back to work on a gen. But a massive word of warning, know who you're playing against before you even attempt this. Quick heads up on the footage you're seeing here, my girlfriend Shona, say hi Shona.
Hi!
Okay, she hopped into a custom lobby with me so I can demonstrate exactly how these specific killer interactions work. So, first of all, when it comes to Dredge, do not get in a locker if you're up against Dredge, just don't. At all, trust me on this one. He can literally teleport directly inside any locker you're hiding in and you'll instantly get grabbed. That's how I learned the hard way, and I think it was my first Dead by Daylight match. I practically shat myself. Exhibit A. And that is why you don't go in a locker with Dredge. Okay, here we go. If you're up against a Huntress or Legion, be incredibly careful. Huntress has to open lockers to reload her hatchets, and Legion frequently checks them because you can see survivors in lockers when in his frenzy mode. Because of that, half the time they run a perk called Maiden, which makes survivors open lockers faster, but the second they step out, they scream, reveal their location, and become exposed for 30 seconds. Okay, and that is why, if you're up against a Huntress, be careful, because Huntress has to open lockers to reload her hatchets. Alright, bonus tip. If you go against Jason, he can see you in lockers, just like I can see my girlfriend in this locker right now. I'm literally standing right in front of it. So...
God, I can't see it.
Yeah, because when I'm in Omnipresent mode, I'm invisible. So yeah, his power does in fact reveal you if you aren't moving, meaning a locker is absolutely a death trap. What you should do, Jason, instead, is crouch. So every time Jason goes in Omnipresent mode, you need to crouch. You don't necessarily have to crouch walk because he still can't see you. You can walk though if you want to. And he cannot track your footsteps or anything. Oh. Are you standing up? Now I can see you.
Yep.
Yeah. Put these tips together and you'll go from hiding in lockers to running gen chases. If this guide helped you out, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and leave a comment if you have any questions.